Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Regain Your Core. Today I want to talk to you about self-dates. Ooh, self-dating is so important. Why? Because think about it. What happens when you date someone? You get to know them. You get to know their likes, their dislikes. You get to know their values if they're in alignment with yours. You get to have a better idea of what it is that you need for yourself and in a relationship. And does that person meet your needs? You get to connect. You get to be vulnerable. You get to draw closer to other people. So those are just some of the benefits of dating. So imagine what happens when you date yourself. You get to connect with yourself. You get to understand who you are on a deeper level. You get to learn to enjoy your own company. And I think that is so important and so crucial because so many of us, not so many of us, but there's some of us who may not like to spend time with ourselves because we don't know what to do with ourselves. We may find that spending time with ourselves is so uncomfortable, but it is really rich and rewarding when we get to know who we are, when we know what our values are, when we know what our needs are. We can better be able to fulfill them in relationships and outside of relationships. We can develop empathy because part of self-dating, forgive me, that's my dog Charlie, he's barking, but we must move on. So one of the things that I think is really crucial also about self-dating is that we can learn to develop empathy, because when we date ourselves and we can reflect on some of the things that we've been through and how we've overcome, then that can help us to empathize with other people when we interact with them and they're sharing their struggles and stories with us. We can learn to empathize. So my first date, one of my first dates, I think I went out, I think it was actually in South Korea. I went to a Korean restaurant and I just sat and I looked out the window and I had a meal by myself. And honestly, it was good. Another time I actually went to dinner on my birthday by myself, and the waitress asked me, I guess, how many, and I said it's just me, and I told her it was my birthday, and she came out with this really nice plated dessert that said happy birthday on it. And it was just really a time for me to reflect on God's goodness, what the prior year had brought me, and I just really enjoyed my time. For some, it could be a little boring at first, to be honest, because you don't know what to do with yourself. But that's why it's important to come up with a plan. What do you want your self-dating to be? Do you want it to be just reflection, Thanksgiving, assessment of where you are, assessment of your needs, where you want to be, the things what you want to grow on? Do you want it to just to be a conversation with yourself? Do you want it to be a session of affirmation for all the things that you've overcome and been doing well? All those things really encompass self-dating, and it's just really important to come up with what your goal or your vision for your self-dating that can make it more fruitful. And as far as examples for self-dating, it's not so much as what you do, right? More so your reason for doing it. So self-dating is really quality time with yourself, doing something that brings you joy or meaning. So it could just be having dinner, having a home cooked meal by yourself. It could just be dancing while cleaning. It could be journaling. It could be spending time on a beach or walking on a park or walking and listening to music. There's so many ways that we can practice self-dating. It could be traveling, like I've traveled to places by myself. I'm not advocating for you to go do that, but for me, I've gone to travel to places by myself, and it just really allowed me to connect with myself. I've cried. So there's so many things that can really come from us dating ourselves. But the one thing is, if we don't learn and love and embrace spending time with ourselves, or we don't like spending time with us, how can we really expect others to desire to spend time with us and to see the value in us? We must appreciate spending quality time with ourselves and seeing the value in us and cultivating who we are. And those are some of the benefits of self-dating. So my question to you is this: what is one thing you can do today to begin self-dating if you haven't started, or to be more consistent in self-dating? Tell me. I want to know. Until next time, take care.